That hurt. More verticality. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. We are now on 4 hours practically of just small breaks of talking soccer. First, we started out with Jake, then we did our live thing. And by the time this comes out, that'll be yesterday. So thanks.
I want to extend thanks to everybody who participated in that.
Yep.
I think we hit about 100 people. Loved it. It was fun. We interacted with everybody we could. A lot of great questions and a lot of fun.
I was like, 100 people? What? We gave everybody like a 10-minute warning.
There were a handful of people, and they're like, "Is there a live stream?" Like before we even got in there, they're like, "Is there a live stream coming in here? Is this a live stream? What's happening? There's nobody here." Oh, it was fun, guys. I appreciate everything.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be doing more.
Absolutely.
Now. I mean, listen, we basically did a vidcast for years where we were never on video. So, but we've both been on plenty of shows now, other people's shows, and I've done 2 live shows. So why not?
Yeah. There were a number of people posting on there saying like, "Oh, thank goodness we get to look at your ugly mugs. Appreciate it."
Yes. I always like when they're like face reveal. It's like, no, I mean, even on our still photos, those are our faces. Now that was 10 years ago or 8 years ago. So I'm a lot grayer and older
we use
now.
de-aging software to make us look younger.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine with it at this point. Fuck it.
I got the gray growing on my beard, and I'm more than happy to keep it there. I like it. I don't need to go dyeing my beard.
More is coming.
Yeah, I'm losing the hair on the top of my head. I don't care.
Yes, but it was really fun being on Jake's show. I'm going to continue to wear my little beanie hat, and it's not really a tribute to anybody in particular. It's just that I don't like combing my hair.
Tim Pool, calm down.
I know that's what somebody else said on the other show, that I was doing a Tim Pool impersonation. I'm like, not really. I'm lazy and I don't want to comb my hair.
There were a number of people that are posting that, like, Jesus, Derek, are you in the basement? Is it that cold?
No, it's really not. But yeah, it's just laziness.
In fairness, we're also in Indy, and it's like probably like 30 degrees or a little cooler right now out. 28 right now.
Can you imagine having to be as well trimmed and all of that, like tacked, or Pete? I mean, Pete's an actor. He gets that shit done constantly. His hair is done. And then you got Sam.
I just went down my haircut for the first time in like 2 or 3 months.
Dude, I know. I haven't had my hair cut for 3 or 4 months. It's a fucking disaster up there. So I'm just like, I'm just going to wear a hat. I mean, I thought about it. I went and combed my hair. I'm like, it still looks like shit. I'm going to put a hat on. So there you go. That's why I wear a hat. Nothing to do with Tim Pool at all.
And I usually rock an actual hat. I'm
surprised you went au natural tonight.
Well, I get my haircut yesterday, so I don't care. Again, I all the pictures I draw of myself, I have a receding hairline I draw, and I give myself a belly. I don't try to hide the fact. I don't give myself a full set of hair and a 6-pack or anything like that. Sorry, it's not factual.
You got
not any of my pictures are factual either, but still.
You got your haircut last night. So
yeah, I got a single hair cut.
Your random hairs that are still on your head. You got those ones cut. The ones that gave up years ago, well, they're still safe. They're buried deep in the follicles of your head.
I look like Charlie Brown. A couple squiggly hairs on top of my head.
Hey man, we all lose our hair. I mean, I guess I could do a better job because I'm not like really balding yet, but I mean, I'm receding, but I haven't receded as far back as you. And I should probably be more happy about that and do something with it.
I saw my fate a long, long, long time ago as a young kid, as I expect my son probably see his fate in me.
Yes.
And he's probably like, I want to mohawk this summer. I want to do this and that. I'm like, you can do whatever you want while you have the hair. You want to dye it? Well, let's dye it. Fuck it.
Because around 40, that shit's leaving.
40?
34 for you.
Yeah. You start losing that hair in the 30 year. It just starts slowly creeping back. You don't realize it until it's too late.
I didn't start receding until like 46.
Yeah,
so I guess I should be happy. Anyhow, let's get to the show, which is what with the last show I guess was going to be, but wasn't. That's we fixed the title, so it's okay. It's subjects.
I'm sure everybody was confused when they were watching the show. When are they going to talk about the 5 players in depth at every position?
When is that coming?
All right, well, that was a show tonight, guys. See you later. Wait, what?
I don't know how we miscommunicated on that, but it happened. So actually, what we're going to do in the future
one wonder for the show.
Yeah, we're going to do one show where you get to just give us your questions live, and we'll answer them like we did tonight.
We'll take the questions before the show, and then we'll talk about those, and then we'll just start talking with the public.
Right. And then whoever pops up with a question can ask one as well. It worked out tonight without any issues, really. So, so let's start with the depth. We're going to go goalkeeper. And I mean, my question, Brett, is does it really matter what the rankings are? I don't know, but I guess it does if you're asking me who the first ranked goalkeeper in the depth for goalkeeper is, because I put down Turner.
As it currently sits, yes, but man, he's on his way to Arsenal. He's going to be sitting on his butt, so it's a toss-up at that point, whether it's Turner or Stefan.
Is he really
sitting the bench at Arsenal?
Is he really going to Arsenal? Yep. I haven't seen it. Where's the paperwork?
Well, he signed a pre-agreement while he was on camp. Yeah, I mean, that'd be insane if all that news came out and he doesn't actually go.
Well,
like literally, not just Twitter rumors, but this is like legit news sites posting shit.
I keep waiting for it to come up on the ticker on Transfer Market, and it doesn't. So I don't know what's going on, frankly. I really don't. I find
the window itself is over. So
it is.
At this point, maybe it's a pre-agreement come summertime. Because that was the talk. He wasn't going to be going there until he wasn't going to go there until the summer, because of the current backup keeper is still there. Whoever that, I forgot who it was. I don't follow Arsenal.
Oh, Leno.
So they're talking about him leaving in the summer, which brings Turner in the summer. So it's summer when he's coming on. So that'll be the official transfer, I guess.
Yeah. So I just haven't seen anything officially signed, because usually if it's a buy loan or a whatever, it comes up.
It's not a Caden Clark issue.
Yeah. All right. So I had Turner and then Stefan and Johnson. I don't think that those are disputable.
No, those are the top 3. Absolutely.
And then if you're going for 4 and 5, that's got to be Horvath. And then I just went, okay, fuck it. Guzan 5th.
Fuck that. I'm going with my boy Slonina.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter to me.
Number 5.
Yeah, by the time you get to 5, that could be Hamid, that could be Slonina.
Well, it's definitely not going to be Hamid. Berhalter doesn't like Hamid.
It could be your fucking mom. All right. At this point, that's way deep in the fucking goalkeeper thing. We're never going to need more than 3 in any window.
About my fucking mom. Who's fucking my mom? What's wrong?
Not your fucking mom.
Oh, sorry.
Just that was a
everybody mom.
Universal. Yeah, your fucking mom.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. All right, center backs, depth of 5. Unbelievably, I have Zimmerman as my number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's captain of the
Lala
team.
said it right. You get it right.
Could you quit reminding me of that?
I gotta give credit where credit's due, because we all called him out on that. I can't believe he wasn't their number. He wasn't his number 1. I'm pretty sure he still had Brooks at 1 or something like that, or maybe Robinson or whatever.
No, I thought he was.
I thought he had Zimmerman like in the top 3.
No, he had him as 1.
Because at that point he was barely in the rotation, because Long was still there. Long was in the top 3, I think. I don't know if Zimmerman was. I think Zimmerman was in his top 5. I don't even know if it was his top 3. We'd have to go back and take a look, but I'm not sure.
We'll have to take a look. But I did give I gave Lawless a lot of shit for that, and I was wrong, and he was right. So there's that.
Absolutely.
Miles Robinson. So it gets difficult for me. I went with Richards at number 2, and then Miles Robinson at number 3.
I mean, Robinson had one bad game. Yeah, it's relevant because it's fresh on our minds.
It is.
But so I mean, you have to remember he went an entire calendar year of doing well. I mean, I guess not even calendar, from like August on. Yeah, I guess, because that's when he got brought really into the fold. But from August until this last window, he was one of our better players. Now, mind you, that he has his faults, so I'm still keeping him my number 2. But Richards is right there, and you can make the argument as far as who's your number 2, and you can make your argument as far as number 1. I mean, you might feel Miles Robinson is still your number 1. It's one game, but
so
it is what it is.
It's flip-floppable for me. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And that's when, after that, that's when it gets tricky with number 4. I still have Brooks on my list, but I know he's on.
Buck Berhalter's list. I'm not going with Berhalter. I'm going with mine. I have Brooks' 4 as well.
Yeah. We know that Brooks is on Greg's shit list, and I don't care how much he protested.
I don't care.
He's lying. He's lying. There's more to the story. And we said it so many times. I'm not saying it again. I'm not going through the story. I'm not breaking the news. I've already broke it. If you missed it, go back and listen to it. All right. CCV was my 5th.
So 5th was a tough one for me because I thought CCV as well. And I know it's a short sample size, but I mean, even Eric Palmer Brown has been getting some decent games.
I had him at 6.
But I've got to go with just what I've seen, and I guess I want to see CCV at a higher level than the Scottish League at this point. I want to call him in. I want to see what he can do. And it's not going to be this window by any means. Maybe come Nations League or some friendly. I'd like to see that, but I've got to stick with Berhalter's McKenzie, unfortunately.
I can't do that. To me, McKenzie's below both Cameron Carter-Vickers and EPB at this point.
Fair point.
Even though the EPB just started he was finally sold by Man City. Officially, he's done with Man City. So now that's his team, and he's been playing ever since. He's been healthy, and he's been playing well. He needs to continue to do that. CZV has been consistently playing and playing well, whereas McKenzie doesn't play. So, I mean, he does intermittently. And I've not been impressed with him when he's been with the U.S. men's national team. I'm willing to look at somebody else at this point at 5.
Fair enough. So I'm fine. I'd be fine with that. I'm just going solely off of past performances. And I'm not saying that his performances have been stellar by any means. He had a decent Nations League window, not so decent afterwards. But we don't have a sample size for anybody else, unfortunately. I mean, we do have a couple of the players, but none that are in the talking point.
I mean,
there's really no Brooks, even though we talked about Brooks earlier.
Yeah.
But we don't have any, we have like a couple of games for CCV, and that was when he was not necessarily starting.
Let's put it this way. So. Eric Palmer Brown plays for a better team.
There you go. That's a great way of looking at it.
Than Alavis in Miazga.
Yeah.
And, so I'd be happy if it were CCV or EPB, but I want one of the two to get a look.
Absolutely. No, I'll 100% agree with you on that. If we're looking at a 5th spot where we can just say, I want them to get a look, I'll agree with you 100%.
I mean, I think Mark McKenzie's kind of wearing out his welcome at Genk and with the national team. And if he's not even going to play when you bring him in the window, then
who the fuck cares at the point? Just bring somebody in, integrate him,
acclimate him.
Verticality. Oh, sorry, we're just talking about Berhalter terms.
Backs, left back, right back. 5 of those. I started with Dest and Robinson. Jedi.
Sure. I mean, if we're gonna list starting first, absolutely.
Then Scally at 3rd.
Yep.
And then it got a little sketchy, and I went with Cannon at 4th.
Okay.
And then Yedlin.
5. Okay.
Yedlin.
Okay, so we flip-flopped Cannon and Yedlin, basically.
Okay.
I know that Yedlin obviously is just making his move back to MLS. Again, I'm going solely off of previous games with the national team. I thought Yedlin's been fine. I thought Cannon's done okay.
I thought he was fine.
Yeah,
last game.
I was tempted though, and I know that we've been a little harsh on Bello when he's been with the national team, and he made his debut in Bundesliga and he did well.
Yeah.
If he continues to do well, I mean, he's going to solidify himself as the second option. In all honesty, at left back. Yeah. Hopefully, what that means Scally's going to be the second option at right back, depending on Dest's form, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Bello does at Arminia Bielefeld, which is a very poor team in the Bundesliga, and if they can stay up. But the fact that he flew in and started,
yeah,
I mean,
that's both good and bad, I guess.
I mean, I guess if you're Arminia Bielefeld, there's not much to lose because you're at the bottom of the table and you're trying to survive.
Not at the bottom.
Well, they're itchy and scratchy down there. They really are. They're down there somewhere, right? Am I wrong about that? Is Bielefeld not down in the current season? Let me look real quick.
Bundesliga.
They're 15th. That's not good.
Well, they're not bottom.
No, but they're fighting for survival.
Sure, I don't disagree with that.
So a lot of teams that are fighting for survival, 16, 17, and 18 are drop zone in Germany, and they're 15th.
Yeah, in fairness, though, one win can catapult them all the way up to 11th place.
That's true as well, but I mean, they don't score a lot of goals, so that's an issue for them. So maybe they fix that. I think
they also don't let in. They also don't let in a lot of goals, though. I mean, they scored 21 and let in 27. They've got a -6. Don't get me wrong. That's why they're in the bottom half.
Yes, yeah.
But I mean, defense. They don't. I mean, looking at this table, what? There's a handful of teams that have let in less goals. So I mean, they don't score a lot, but they don't let in a lot either.
No, their defense hasn't been bad. Their problem is they can't fucking score a goal. I think there's only one other team, two other teams as bad as them. Wolfsburg's only scored 21, and Greuther Fürth has only scored 18. So
Hertha Berlin's only scored 23.
Yeah, but that's better.
Bochum's only scored 20.
Okay, so yeah, Bochum's baddest. No. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, you're right.
Obviously, they must win games.
Yeah, so they squeak the games out. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see him getting playing time straight off the bat. I'll have to go and review the video and see how he's progressing. That's the problem with him, with Bello, so far, is I haven't really seen any leap from him.
Well, and as far as talking about backups to Robinson at this point, it's got to be Scally. I mean, I know that Berhalter just does not want to call him in for whatever reason.
Yeah, that was atrocious.
I mean, we called in one left back, and then we're like, well, we could shove in like 3 of our right backs as left back options.
And then
you can't stop that. Stop
and Jedi looked exhausted in that third game. Did he not?
Fortunately, it was against Honduras.
Yep. He looked tired. He did not look like the player he was in the first 2 games, energy wise. So yeah, I mean, the whole Scally thing is befuddling. And even Vines, if you don't want to bring in Scally, at least Vines is playing all but 1 game for his club team since he got there. You know, I mean, I know he was a favorite of Berhalter's when Vines was in MLS. So I don't know what happened all of a sudden. He goes to Europe and now he's shunted. I don't know. Very weird.
The MLS narrative, though.
It does, and I don't know why they're. I don't know.
Well, same thing happened to Bello. Bello moves to Germany, and all of a sudden he's not brought in.
Well,
you can make the argument that he needs to acclimate himself into Germany at this point. But
yeah, I think that's the case for Bello for sure. I think Vines had already been there a while.
Oh no, Vine should have actually been included, absolutely. But I'm just saying, you're looking at a player who is consistently called in almost every single window, makes the move to Germany, and then isn't called in.
Yeah,
I'm not connecting the dots here, people. I'm just making kind of a joke, if you will, about it. But
Yeah, and we'll see if Scally's playing time continues to go forward as players come back from injury. And there is an actual left back and right back that are healthy now on that team. Does that drop him down to 3 or 4? We'll see what happens there. So keep an eye on it. I don't think he played this week. I have it right in front of me, but I think he rode Pine for 90. Anyhow, I don't
We'll get to that later.
So fuck it. Yeah. We'll get to it later. And then midfield, that's McKennie, number 1, Adams 2. And then you get to 3 and 4, and you're like, is it Musa or De La Torre, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I went with De La Torre above Musa. I like what he brings. I like his confidence.
So, yeah, so this window was really confusing to me because every single other window that Moose has played, he played similar to De La Torre as far as just like progressing forward, moving forward. But in this window, for whatever reason, I mean, he had some motions forward, but man, he sat back.
Yeah.
And that was weird. I feel like, I don't know if it was a stifling as far as just player or personnel on that side, or if that was a Berhalter decision. I don't know.
Yeah, well, in the first game, Pulisic took up all his space, so maybe he stayed back for the spacing reasons that.
He stepped back. He stepped back as far as Adams did in that game.
Yeah.
It was a weird window for him.
Is that all on Musa? I doubt it.
I don't think it is. Yeah, it could be personnel. It could just been the open space that he had available to him, or it could have been a decision, managerial decision. So I don't know.
All I can say is De La Torre looked a whole lot better against Honduras than Musa did versus El Salvador. And
absolutely, 100%.
So I'm going with De La Torre, and then of course number 5 is Acosta to back up Adams. So
the funny thing is, I initially wrote Busio, and I'm like, well, shit, I can't leave off Acosta at this point.
No, and I think Busio and Tessman are now in the kind of like struggling range at Venezia, like for playing time. So Busio
doesn't
played.
Matter. We still have 2 open spots in the midfield from Roldan and Leggett, so we can include them.
So they're going to get included. They're just not in our top 5 right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but those 2 should be battling for a spot, honestly, ahead of Roldan.
100%.
Yep. And then at winger, I've got, this is going to surprise some people. I got
not if they listened to our show earlier.
Right. I've got Weah, Reyna, Pulisic, Aronson, and Morris.
Ooh. Yeah. I didn't write in any particular order, but those are the same 5 that I had.
Yep.
And I also wrote, this is a throwback to the live stream, but Gio Caccini.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I wrote Gio Caccini in there because I still feel like he doesn't get the love he deserves. I mean, not saying that he's a make or break, but he reminds me of like the Luca De La Torre for a winger position for Berhalter's system. When he was in the Gold Cup, he was one of the bright spots alongside Hoppy.
So you're replacing Morris with.
You could. I wrote Morris as my number 5 still, but I wrote like a little asterisk next to him.
Oh, okay.
I would be more than content with the swap there because while Morris brings energy, he brings a very direct game, and I appreciate that. And I didn't think he played nearly as bad as some of the people mentioned his performance in the Honduras game. I thought he played okay. But he'll start getting playing time with Seattle, and he'll get his form back, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, here's the real issue. The real issue is Conrad doesn't play.
Nope.
Okay.
Not really. He kind of does, but doesn't.
Not recently. He's not playing. Gioacchini just started. God damn it. Gioacchini just started and is upping his minutes.
Yep.
All right. He's playing regularly. Morris isn't quite as fast as he used to be.
Well, I mean, after 2 fucking knee injuries, he's never going to be nearly as fast as he's going to be. He's going to have to figure out how to adjust.
Could have been the frozen tundra.
That also could have fucked it over, yeah.
So he just didn't look as fast as he usually does in that game.
Well, and I think I made the comment to you on a text message. We talked about this during the review also. But I made a comment. I was like, man, it seems like the players, and I was just getting done watching Morris make a sprint after a ball. Like they're just like their bones are like iced over, and they're slow. Their first couple of steps are a bit slower than they normally would be.
Yeah.
Now as the game progressed, that seemed to whittle away, but there were just times where they'd play like a long ball to Morris's side, and it's just like normally he'd be there, would have been to the ball like two steps earlier, but this one is like he had to do like that cartoon like running before he takes off type of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what frozen testicles can do.
Yeah.
So I think that's what that was mostly. But yeah, he did not look particularly grand in that start. I mean, went horrible by any means. But
what's fascinating about our winger options is, and we may have a couple posters comment about this, is that there was a specific somebody that wasn't mentioned in the wingers option. Yes.
Yeah.
Because, and I've got to stress this, just because he's listed, he'd be listed as a 9 in this depth, doesn't mean he has to always play that position.
Right.
So the big thing is that if we moved him to a winger, we'd remove Morris, but then we'd have to add somebody back into the striker pool. And that would have been somebody like Zardis or something like that. So I'm like, I couldn't let that fly.
No, me either. So I ended up putting Sargent up with the center forwards.
Yep. So let's talk about that. Who you have?
I got PFOC as number 1.
Oh, just in current form, I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah, I know. Not a lot of people are. Some people won't like that, but I did keep. I kept Pepe as number 2. So
yeah. Well, it's a Swiss league. It's there. I mean, it's not like he's doing it at the EPL or Serie A. But quite frankly, as a striker is concerned, when we're talking about the national team, we're talking about them coming in for a couple of days and playing a game immediately. And I want a striker who is confident and on fire. I honestly don't necessarily care what league they play for. If Pepe was still playing for FC Dallas and he had 20 goals, I would say he needs to be starting because he is on fire. Yep. Now, we talked about Ramirez in Scotland, and we talked about him during the live stream, saying like he's not going to get called.
No,
he's so far down in depth that it's not going to happen, even though he's scoring consistently. Yeah, he's got to be confident. He's got to be running on all cylinders at this point. Maybe he's better than a couple of the options. I mean, Ramirez over Zardis. How about that?
I mean, you could flip. Yeah, I mean, you could just take a chance, take a flyer on a guy and take a chance.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that. I just think it's so unrealistic that he's going to be called up that I won't even put him on my list.
Okay, so Pepe and PFOC. We both talked about Sargent. I'm assuming he must have been your 3rd.
He is my 4th, actually, behind DK.
Okay, I was wondering if that was going to be there. Then
yep.
I have now again. I didn't write in any specific order, and I have DK listed above Sargent just by happenstance, primarily because I wasn't sure if I was going to have Sargent in the winger role or striker. But as I was doing the strikers, I was like, no, I've got to put him in there because we got so many more wingers that deserve a spot over some of our strikers that would have filled in that position. So, yeah, DK and Sargent. And who's your 5th?
Hoppy.
Hey, so did I.
Hey, I have not given up on that kid.
Not in the slightest.
He's got a pair of rocks.
Another option. He doesn't necessarily in Berhalter's system. He's probably not going to play a number 9, unfortunately.
Yep, I know.
Despite the fact he's like 6'3", the guy doesn't look it, but he's tall.
Yeah, I mean, you got it. At some point, Hoppy's gonna claim this one of these top 3 spots. I think
has to.
He's gonna get somebody's gonna get thrown off of this. It's probably gonna be PFOC, but eventually, if he turns into the faster, it's stronger version of PFOC.
It's Berhalter's system, and I don't think Hoppy is ever going to be listed as a 9 option. He's going to be listed as a wing, and that could play to his benefit. And he may take Morris's spot. Let's say that. Let's say Hoppy goes over there, but then again, if we moved Hoppy over to the wing and took Morris's spot, that means who are you going to put in as the number 5 spot?
Yeah,
I mean, you're looking at like a Zardis or you're looking at Ferreira. And don't get me wrong, I thought Ferreira played fine this window. He choked a couple of opportunities, but he also does what he did what he does really well for FC Dallas, and he sets up other players.
Yeah.
So there was that.
I mean, Ferreira's on my like 6 or 7, somewhere around there.
He has to be your 6 because who's going to be your 7?
Well, it ain't Zardes. I can tell you that much. But it is a little disturbing before we head out of the show. When you look at the teams at the bottom of the Bundesliga, 13 and below or 12 and below. Let's just do 12 and below. Wolfsburg, number 12. John Brooks.
Hi, Brooks. And
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
What's the new kid that just went to Wolfsburg?
Paredes?
Yes, Paredes did it too.
So, but he's not going to play for a while.
Well, I feel like I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is there are a lot of Americans in the bottom of the table. Borussia Mönchengladbach is 13th.
Fortunately, I think there's enough of the American teams in the bottom half that even if they all were the bottom of the table, there would be a couple that survive.
You would hope so, but we do know if there's a very good chance that Arminia Bielefeld is going down. And that's Bello. FC Augsburg, they are currently in the drop spot. That's Pepe.
Again, along with Bello's team, they're 1 win away from jumping up to like 12th place.
No, I get it. There's a lot that can happen. I'm just talking about right now.
No, I understand. Yeah,
Stuttgart, Pellegrino Matarazzo is the only American manager, and he's in the drop zone.
Don't worry, he's going to take over as Berhalter's alternative.
I guess. Greuther Fürth, they're going down. They're going down. There's no way around it. Yeah.
They'd have to hit like a crazy streak of wins.
And they have 2 Americans on their team, Julian Green and Timothy Tillman.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad to see. I don't want to see a bunch of Americans struggling at the bottom of the Bundesliga table. That's what we're seeing now. I mean, on the other side of it, we got Rana at Dortmund. They're second. That's fine. Leipzig is 7th, and that's Adams. So that's good. Timothy Chandler, who no one cares about, they're at 9th. And then our boy Richards is at Hoffenheim. They're 8th.
Are they 8th? Really? Man,
yeah.
They were just 3rd not too long ago.
I know. It's so fluid. That table is so fluid because there's so many teams.
So many teams
in the 30s.
Outside of first and last, it's fluid.
It really is. It really is.
That's insane.
And before we leave, the guy that made the video that came up that was recommended to me, how long can a McDonald's paper cup hold liquid? That had over 1 million views. How bored are people?
Yeah, here's the bigger question. What McDonald's actually hands out paper cups still? Maybe the smaller cups, actually. Let me take that back. It's the smaller cups because only the large is plastic. And I never get anything but a large because whether you get a small or a large, it's still a fucking $1.
I never get a drink. I just get the sandwich and the fries if I go to McDonald's.
Fuck that. I will go out of my way to go to McDonald's because you're spending $1. There are enough gas stations that are like about $1 or less. I have a couple around here that are like 89 cents.
My question is,
when it comes to fast food, you can go to like Burger King or Wendy's and you're spending like $2, $2.50 for a large. I'm like, I can just drive a quarter mile down the street and hit McDonald's.
I have soda in my home, so I go through the drive-through. I go home and I eat the sandwich.
You don't actually leave the house. I mean, I have to leave the house. I've got kids. I got to take.
Yeah.
For lunch, I get to Bloomington from time to time.
I get it. But this video, how long does a cup hold up? McDonald's cup. What? Who fucking cares? Why would anyone give a fuck about that? What, you're gonna leave your McDonald's drink on your table counter for longer than 3 hours, 6 hours, overnight?
Fuck the cup. I'm not concerned about the cup. I'm curious how long the food can last after being. They're talking about like how like after like a decade they're like digging out like Happy Meals that still have the cheeseburgers and they look perfectly fine to eat. Not saying you should eat them by any means, but what the fuck's in that?
I don't know, but I'm actually more concerned that they construct my actual Big Mac like a Big Mac, like they follow the directions. Because I got a Big Mac with 2 beef patties in one section one time. So
they put a couple of toothpicks in there to make it look thicker and spray some adhesive in there to make and paint it as cheese.
Oh, they just fucked up. It was bread, 2 patties, bread.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
It's like anyhow. I mean, I'm sure they were in a hurry.
You're driving home, you're like, you're lucky I'm drunk.
I reconstructed it myself and got it back to where it should have been. But it was weird when I opened it. I'm like, wait, bread, patty, bread. What?
Some assembly required.
Apparently so. But they got all the sauces and all that shit smothered on there. So, all right, they're probably in a big rush. You know how that shit's crazy right now because nobody wants to work those jobs. So they're all understaffed and they're all working like complete banshees.
Yeah, dude,
I get it. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, we will be back. Check out our show on FIFA America with Jake. And we're going to have him on our show soon. We're looking at having Max on, Bredos on.
Yep, working on Max. I sent out a thing. We're working with Sam again, getting Sam on. Well, we're still working on Jake to get on too. So we got Jake, Max, Sam. I've sent out a message to Meg, although I'm going to have to reach back out to her because she has not responded to me. That could be a personal thing. I don't know. She might not like me.
No,
she likes us. She's probably just busy.
Okay. I was just worried she didn't like me because I said nice things about her.
Like I mentioned during Jake's show, like I mentioned at Jake's show, the lady at the liquor store told me I had a nice voice, like a nice radio voice. And I took that as a nice compliment. I said, well, thank you.
So yeah, I'm sure it's not that. We'll work it out with Meg. We definitely want to have Meg on. I think she's really good at what she does. And I think she's also very open and honest. And, she's not a bullshitter. So that's not going to be an issue. So until then, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the Gary Busey, and we'll be back with you soon enough. That hurt.